as a Brahmin. Unless there is training and appropriate work, then one is classified by how one works, not by one's birth. It is what you are actually doing that determines whether you are Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. So, Narada Muni is explaining to this, and then Vyasadeva, after all of this, he compiled his great masterpiece, Vedanta Sutra. But then, at this meeting, because Narada has come to Vyasadeva, when Vyasadeva is disturbed in his mind, he woke up and began his morning spiritual sadhana. But on this particular morning, Vyasadeva was disturbed. And immediately, Narada Muni came. And Vyasadeva offered respects to his spiritual master. And Vyasadeva said, "My dear Lord, please find out the root cause of my dissatisfaction." He wanted him to get to the actual root of the problem. So Narada explained that because you are identifying with the body and the mind, you will not find happiness. You will not find peace as long as you are identifying with the body and mind. Narada said, "You have compiled and edited the Vedas, Upanishads, the histories, Itihasas, the Puranas. You have done this great work, Mahabharata, and now you have done Vedanta Sutra, but you forgot one thing, and that is why you are not happy. You forgot to put Krishna in his proper position as the Supreme. You forgot to describe Krishna and his devotees and their relationship, which is known as Bhakti Yoga, which Narada is famous, this book, Narada Bhakti Sutras. So Narada mildly is chastising Vyasadeva, now pointing out your root cause. Now you should compile Srimad Bhagavatam as your final literary masterpiece. Compile Srimad Bhagavatam. What is Srimad Bhagavatam? It is the narration of God and his devotees together. God and how he is relating to his devotees. And Vyasadeva constructs Srimad Bhagavatam scientifically in 9 cantos, cantos 1 to 9. Vyasadeva is explaining one line, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, that there are many, many different kinds of incarnations, avatars, in 6 categories. But Krishna is the origin of all other incarnations. That is the mission statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in 9 cantos, so there's in the first canto, there is 19 chapters. Second canto, there is 10 chapters. In third canto, there's 33 chapters. In fourth canto, I think there's 31 chapters. In fifth canto, there's 26. In sixth canto, there's 19. Seventh canto has 15, 18. Eighth canto has 24. And ninth canto also has 24. So you add that up. Couple of hundred chapters, all explaining Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. How Krishna is the origin of all other incarnations, and he himself has no origin. He is the root. He is the origin. He himself has no origin. As Lord Brahma says, Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda. He has no origin other than himself. Sarva Karna Karnam. Therefore, it is Krishna who is the cause of all other subsequent causes. Then in the 10th canto, in 90 chapters, after explaining in 9 cantos what, who, why, how Krishna is, now in 10th canto, in 90 chapters, he explains that line from Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Krishna says, my birth, my activities are divyam, divine, transcendental, beyond reproach. So that is what is explained in 10th canto. Then in the 11th canto, there is the description of how Krishna and his dynasty was removed from the face of the earth. And the 11th canto is describing renunciation, detachment, transcendental knowledge, and another major theme of the 11th canto, this world is a dream. This whole material cosmos is a dream. Just like last night, I had a nightmare 3 times. But waking up, it was revealed. It's only a dream. It seemed like it was real when I was in the dream, but upon waking up, I realized it was only a dream. In the same way, this world, this life is a dream. And we will all realize that sooner or later. Then in the 12th canto, Shukadeva Goswami completes his instructions to Maharaj Parikshit. The snake bird comes, bites him. Parikshit's body bursts into flames. Parikshit returns home back to Godhead. And there are some other topics explained by Sutta Goswami. Again, Srimad Bhagavatam is emphasizing what is God and how his devotee relates to him. So tonight, I would like to speak on this 3rd chapter of Narada Bhakti Sutras. Narada is the spiritual master of Vyasadeva, and he was directly generated as a son of Lord Brahma, his 10th son, that came directly from his body. We did not do that. We all descended from a son of 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 a son, going back to Lord Brahma. So many billions of lives we've had. So many, can't count. Narada is a direct son of Lord Brahma, empowered. So this chapter, if you would go along with me, if you're ready to proceed, please raise your hand and chant afterwards. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Now, why are you guys sitting over here? You're trying to be more humble than everybody? That's all right. It's all right. There's no limit to how humble you can be. Very good. Now I'm looking at you. I entered my state, now I'm ready. And if it would be so kind, if you could turn off your cell phones so that we won't have any disruption, please, if I may request you to do that. When the Bhagavatam was spoken, there were no cell phones. Everybody was there with rapt attention. Parikshit was hearing attentively for 7 days, 7 nights. He wasn't eating, wasn't drinking, because he knew the clock is ticking. 7 days left before the snake bird comes. So much I have to understand. So, and Sutta Goswami, who was there, who later narrates Bhagavatam to the sages of Naimisharanya, he tells the sages, when I was there, when Shukadev was speaking, I had rapt attention. That's why I can relate to you what I learned there. Shukadeva Goswami predicted in front of everybody. Just before Parikshit died, Shukadev said, you see this Sutta Goswami? He is going to repeat this Bhagavatam later to the sages of Naimisharanya, exactly as it happened. Because people like Shukadev, they can see, and Narada too, they can see past, present, and future. Once, when Narada visited Krishna, Krishna had just killed the bull demon, Arishtasura, and I think also the horse demon, Keshi. Narada came to Krishna and said, oh Krishna, I can see in the future you're going to kill Kamsa. And then you're going to take care of Shishupal. And you're going to take care of Shalva. And he listed all the demons that Krishna was going to kill in the future. Because Narada has that, he can see. Those of you who are businessmen, you wish you had someone like Narada in your court, huh? Narada, what's the stock today? Come on. Narada, tell me. But Narada cannot be used for such purposes. He'll fly away. Don't waste my time. I've got better things to do. All right, the means, tonight's chapter is the means of achievement. Its subject matter is bhakti. So, this chapter is the means of achievement. Narada begins. Standard authorities have described the methods for achieving devotional service. One achieves bhakti by giving up sense gratification and mundane association. So, sense gratification generally means gratifying the senses without relationship to Krishna, to God. Sense gratification, the bottom line, sense gratification. Meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. This is your bottom line sense gratification. You must at least renounce this if you want to actually walk the spiritual path. I was just reading today in the Mahabharata. Dhritarashtra was confused because the battle is about to begin, the Kurukshetra war. And Dhritarashtra really doesn't want the war because he knows, Dhritarashtra knows, Krishna and Arjuna alone can kill his whole family. Dhritarashtra knows this, even though Duryodhana is standing up and boasting, I can defeat the Pandavas and Krishna. Yeah, Duryodhana thinks he can defeat Krishna. What a fool. They all knew what Krishna had done. The fact that Krishna killed Kamsa and all the demons, they all knew that. But Duryodhana was so proud, and he believed what the demons had told him. So Duryodhana was thinking, no worry, my father. I will take care of Krishna and the Pandavas. But Dhritarashtra knew better. So, Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya. He asked Sanjaya because he knew, after all, Sanjaya is his secretary. And he knew that Sanjaya was a devotee of Krishna. So he asked Sanjaya in confidence, tell me, Sanjaya, tell me, how come I don't accept Krishna like you do? Why you accept Krishna as God, and how come I don't? And one of the things that Sanjaya said is the same thing here. He told Dhritarashtra, if you want to accept Krishna as God, you have to give up sense gratification. And then it says here, mundane association. Mundane association means people who are not interested in spiritual things. They are mundane. Mundane people care about enjoying sense gratification. Persons who are on the spiritual path care about spiritual things. Narada continues, one achieves bhakti by worshiping the Lord ceaselessly. So that's something to aspire for, that at every moment I am worshiping the Lord. That's why I said earlier, I want to be always able to chant the holy name. Because by chanting the holy name, you're worshiping the Lord. Narada continues, one achieves bhakti by hearing and chanting about the Supreme Lord's special qualities. So that's why we read Srimad Bhagavatam and other bhakti books in order to hear about Krishna's special qualities. There's a book, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and the author of that book, Rupa Goswami, based on what he learned from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Krishna has 64 transcendent... Can we close that door? Can that door be closed? Because it's impossible. I won't be in Samadhi. I'll be on the mundane plane. I'll have to play guitar. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Rupa Goswami explains there are 64 transcendental qualities of Krishna. Rupa Goswami says, you and me, we can exhibit 50 of those 64 qualities, but to a minute degree, because we're only jiva. We're only spirit soul, fragmental. And after the 50 qualities, there are 5 that are exhibited by Lord Shiva, because he is superior to the living entities. Then there are another 5 that are exhibited by Lord Narayan, because he is superior to Lord Shiva. But above Narayan, Krishna has 4 special qualities, and that's why I said at the beginning, he is the origin of all other incarnations. So what are those? I'm sure you're wondering, what are those 4 special qualities? Number 1, Krishna has a bodily beauty that attracts everyone and everything. Therefore, his name is Krishna, all attractive. And think about this. That beauty is not stagnant. Here on the altar, we have Srimati Radharani. Now watch what happens. I just said, Krishna is all beautiful. But in front of Radharani, he becomes more beautiful. Radharani sees that Krishna has become more beautiful. She becomes more beautiful. Krishna sees, oh, Radha, you look so... He increases. In this way, there's a never-ending competition as each looks at the other and their beauty and love increase. Because on the spiritual platform, there is no, everything is increasing, everything. That's the spiritual world. Here in the material world, everything is decreasing, like the economy. You all tell me. When I went to Panama, all the Sindhi shopkeepers said, not good, Prabhu. Not good. And I know in America, not good. And we look every day in the mirror. What do you realize? Another wrinkle, another gray hair. Where's that Mendi? Right? We see our own body decreasing. So, in the spiritual world, everything is increasing. So, that's the first quality of Krishna. This unique beauty. He's known as Madana Mohan. Everyone in this world, Cupid shoots his arrows. Ah, I love you. Oh. Even the other person may be fat and ugly, but oh, I love you. That's Cupid. Right? Not Dasara. Pandu. I was reading in the Mahabharata. Pandu had made a vow because he had been cursed by Kindama. He shot the deer when he was engaged in sex. But it was a sage. The sage cursed him, if you approach your wife, you will die. He knew that. But that one day, the wind blew, and he saw she was wearing silk robes, and he saw the beautiful form of Madri. She was so beautiful. And Cupid struck deep. And even as he was grabbing her and approaching her, she was telling him, the curse, the curse. But he could not hear. He was so blinded by Cupid. And he died. What a way to die. So Krishna is called Madan Mohan. He can defeat Cupid. He's more attractive, more powerful than Cupid. But then, there's another name. Madan, Mohan, Mohini. Who is that person that can attract the attractor of Cupid? Srimati Radharani. Only her. So that's the first one. Krishna's unparalleled beauty. Number 2. Krishna is the most fantastic musician. He plays that flute and the rivers stop. Or they flow backwards. The animals, the cows, are drinking from the mother's udders, but they hear the sound of Krishna's flute, they stop. Everyone who hears the sound of Krishna's flute becomes stupefied. When the gopis hear the sound of Krishna's flute, they drop everything. They're breastfeeding baby, forget the baby. They're feeding their husbands, goodbye. They're getting dressed, they put the top part on the bottom part on the top. They hear Krishna's flute, no matter what they're doing, they run. That sound of Krishna's flute grabs them. People ask, Prabhu, I want to hear the sound of Krishna's flute. No problemo. You can hear it. But where will you hear it? Not by listening to some cassette or CD. Who is that famous flute player? I have some of his. Yes. That is not Krishna's flute. The real Krishna's flute is there. Where is it? It is in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's where the flute is. It is in the sound of the Hare Krishna mantra. So if you're chanting, keep chanting until the day you hear the sound of Krishna's flute by your chanting. And if you're not hearing, go on chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So that flute, sound of Krishna's flute, attracts everyone, male, female, animal, inert. I told you the water. All attractive. Then number 3. Krishna is always surrounded by innumerable loving devotees who have pure, unadulterated, spontaneous devotion for him. Krishna does not like to be alone. He has to be with Radharani or the gopis or the cowherd boys, or at least a cow. Krishna alone, not as beautiful as when Krishna is there with his devotees. So, Krishna is always surrounded by numerous devotees who have spontaneous attraction. Just like right now, everybody's mind is diverted by the little baby. Right? As soon as the baby came into the room, everybody stopped watching me and was watching the baby. But that's human nature, especially for ladies. That's human nature. So in the same way, these devotees have spontaneous attraction for Krishna. You and me, we need to be told, now it's time to get up. Now it's time to chant. Now it's time to do this. We don't have spontaneous. I have spontaneous attraction for eating. Yeah, that one I got. But spontaneous attraction for hearing and chanting and worshiping, not so much. But these residents of Vrindavan, who surround Krishna at all times, have spontaneous attraction. They don't care if Krishna is God or not. Doesn't matter to them. Even Yashoda, 1 minute, she looks in Krishna's mouth and she sees the whole universe, herself and Krishna in Krishna's mouth. The next minute, all right, he's my son. She completely forgets what she just saw. Even Uddhava told Nanda Maharaj, do you know that your son is Narayan? What does Nanda Maharaj say? Whatever he may be, he's my son. I have to get on his case. Isn't that what you parents do? Especially boys. Girls are easy. I know from my grandson. My daughter tells me. She's on his case constantly. Because boys are nonsense. So, these residents of Vrindavan don't care anything about this. All they know is we love Krishna. And then number 4, Krishna performs amazing, unbelievable pastimes such as rasa dance. He also does these wonderful childhood pastimes like Damodar Leela. So these are the 4 special qualities, unique qualities of Krishna. So the devotee wants to hear about Krishna's name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage, characteristics. Just like me. I started worshiping Krishna at the age of 23. Now I'm 63. That's 40 years. I have been reading Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book, Srimad Bhagavatam, so many times. Why am I still reading it? Is it because I'm less intelligent and can't read anything else? No.